You'll have to excuse me if I sound like Rush Limbaugh today. You have to understand that ABC Disney is making ex-Federal Bureau of Investigations Director James Comey look like a patriot for Democrats while promoting his book, A Higher Loyalty. Comey did the interview with George Stephanopoulos Sunday night on ABC. Comey does Good Morning America Tuesday on ABC. Comey does The View Wednesday on ABC. ABC Disney is making James Comey look like a patriot hero for liberals by questioning Donald Trump's moral fitness for the presidency. James Comey openly destroyed Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign with his October 2016 press conference, linking the Clinton email investigation to the FBI's Anthony Weiner underage sexting investigation. But somehow, ABC Disney is using Never Trump sentiment to get Democrats to celebrate a disgraced FBI director who used propaganda to destroy Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. ABC Disney is making Comey look like a patriot who is lending credibility to the FBI. The FBI has been politicizing information and investigations long before it was even called the FBI. J. Edgar Hoover was the FBI director when it was called the Bureau of Investigation way back in the 1920s. Anybody who knows anything about the history of the FBI knows that J. Edgar Hoover is the FBI. So we have to go to an article published by The Guardian. Headline, The Secret Life of J. Edgar Hoover, by Anthony Summers, December 31st, 2011. J. Edgar Hoover was a phenomenon. The first director of the FBI, he remained in office for 48 years, from his appointment after the First World War to his death in 1972, achieving fame and extraordinary power. For public consumption, when he died, President Richard Nixon eulogized him as one of the giants, a national symbol of courage, patriotism, and granite-like honesty and integrity. In private, on hearing that J. Edgar Hoover had died, Nixon had responded merely, "Jesus Christ, that old cocksucker." Months earlier, closeted with key advisors, President Richard Nixon had held forth on the need to persuade the elderly Hoover to resign. "We have on our hands here a man who will pull down the temple with him, including me." Harry S. Truman wrote during his presidency, "We want no Gestapo or secret police. FBI is tending in that direction. They're dabbling in sex life scandals and plain blackmail." Harry S. Truman says J. Edgar Hoover would give his right eye to take over, and all congressmen and senators are afraid of him. So we have to go to this book by David J. Garrow. It's called The FBI and Martin Luther King Jr. When U.S. Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy authorized a wiretap of Martin Luther King Jr.'s phones by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, he set in motion one of the most invasive surveillance operations in American history. Sparked by informant reports of King's alleged involvement with communists, the FBI amassed a trove of information on the civil rights leader. Their findings failed to turn up any evidence of communist influence, but they did expose sensitive aspects of King's personal life that the FBI went on to use in its attempts to mar his public image. The FBI followed King's movements throughout the country, bugging his hotel rooms and tapping his phones wherever he went, in an obsessive quest to destroy his growing influence. Garrow uncovers the voyeurism and racism within J. Edgar Hoover's FBI while unmasking Hoover's personal desire to destroy King. So let's go to this article by Emma Best, published on February 21st, 2018, by Mudrock. Headline, Ahead of Watergate, J. Edgar Hoover gave Richard Nixon's campaign political intelligence warning of an emerging Democratic conspiracy. A month and a half before the White House Plumbers Unit was established, Federal Bureau of Investigation Director J. Edgar Hoover contributed the paranoia that would lead to the Watergate affair when he passed political intelligence to a senior member of the Richard Nixon White House and Nixon re-election campaign. According to a June 1st, 1971 memo written by Hoover for his personal files, Hoover passed what amounted to political intelligence about the upcoming presidential election onto the Attorney General, John Mitchell, who had by that point been tapped to serve as campaign director and the nucleus of the campaign staff, and was approving the use of funds to spy on Democrats about Democratic challengers to Nixon's re-election. According to Hoover's source, CBS in New York was providing Senators Edmund Muskie and George McGovern with substantial funds for the Democratic primary election. J. Edgar Hoover used the FBI as a secret police force that used intelligence and propaganda against political enemies. Ex-FBI Director James Comey used intelligence and propaganda to critically damage Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign, intentionally or not. Somehow, ABC News is using James Comey's book tour media blitz to make Hillary Clinton fans fall in love with a man who may have destroyed her political career. That Disney magic is something else.